Welcome to the Deep Dive Books channel, where we hope you find something valuable every day.
This video addresses questions from several friends regarding Yuval Noah Harari book, Nexus. Below are our responses for your reference. Question 1. Regarding the naive, populist, and complex perspectives on information, how are these views formed? Are they shaped by the information and environment one is exposed to, or do other factors play a role? What methods can be used to shift these perspectives? Response. Imagine you're playing a single-player computer game, like Black Myth, Wukong. When you first start, you're not very good at it, but you know that with enough practice, you'll improve. You search online for guides, learn techniques from others. This is information. You realize that information is incredibly useful, and only correct information can help you succeed. When you apply what you've learned, your performance improves. The same logic applies to other aspects of life, like exams or work. While they might involve more uncertainty than a single-player game, you believe that correct information is valuable, and false information will only mislead you. You trust that truth emerges through discussion and competition. You think that if people are free to access information, the correct insights will naturally rise to the top. For example, the highest-rated posts in a game forum are often the most helpful guides. This belief reflects the naive perspective on information. You're not wrong, but you may not realize that many people see the game of life quite differently. In reality, some people achieve better positions, not because they play the game well, but because they are placed there by others. A college graduate might become a county-level leader, while a postgraduate might end up delivering food. Is it because the postgraduate didn't study hard or learn the right skills? Of course not. Many people strongly believe that proximity to power matters far more than access to accurate information. If someone has never played the game properly, and has always lived under the arrangement of others, as was common in agrarian societies, they wouldn't even have a concept of strategies or accurate information. To them, everything boils down to power. Their family's social standing, or their father's rank determines their fate. Naturally, they would think that, if their circumstances are poor, it's because more powerful people have taken all the good positions. To rise in life, they must join a greater power and overthrow those who oppress them. This mindset reflects the populist perspective on information, which prioritizes control over power, rather than the possession of accurate information. Psychologist Albert Bandura introduced the concept of self-efficacy, which refers to an individual's belief in their ability to accomplish tasks or overcome challenges in specific situations. Self-efficacy is a form of competence rooted in personal capability. People with a naive perspective on information believe that self-efficacy is the only legitimate form of competence. In contrast, the competence of those with a populist perspective doesn't come from self-efficacy, but from the power behind them. A person with no skills at all might feel competent simply because their father is influential, believing that a prime position is their birthright. Some people lack both strong self-efficacy and a powerful family. Yet, they still crave competence. These individuals often admire power, taking pride in the accomplishments of others. Perhaps even in achievements as distant as Genghis Khan's conquests 800 years ago. Such behavior is incomprehensible to those with a naive perspective, highlighting just how naive the latter really is. Harari's insight is that the populist perspective on information can indeed be very powerful. It can unite many people, establish order, and create immense collective strength. In comparison, no matter how strong an individual's self-efficacy is, their power remains limited. This leads to the complex perspective on information. To offer a somewhat biased analogy, the college-bound son, with stellar academic achievements, believes in strategies and personal effort, embodying the naive perspective on information. The mother, who stays at home and leads a happy life, compares herself to others, based on her husband's and son's achievements. She reflects on how some women she knew struggled because of poor life partners or family burdens, and feels grateful for her good husband and capable son. She holds a populist perspective on information. The father, who supports the family financially, serves as a role model for his son, and keeps his wife happy, likely possesses a complex perspective on information. As for transformation, those with a naive perspective should broaden their understanding of society and read history. It might help. Those with a populist perspective might benefit from enhancing their self-efficacy. Even winning a single game gives a sense of control over one's fate, albeit temporarily. To build self-efficacy, start with small tasks and accomplish them one by one. Through personal experience, one might come to realize the importance of accurate information, regardless of who delivers it. Question 2. What changes do you think AI will bring to society in the future, say 20 years from now? What will be the biggest change? Will it disrupt current education methods? Will AI teachers become widespread? Will productivity increase dramatically, leading to a richer material life? Will there be a breakthrough in scientific research, with humanity making advances in various disciplines? Will the transportation industry become fully automated, with no more delivery drivers, taxi drivers, bus drivers, or cargo vehicles? Will the metaverse become mainstream? Response. You've already covered a lot of ground. All of these changes will happen, and some are already underway. Take self-driving taxis, like Waymo, for example. Operating in San Francisco and Phoenix, its collision rate per million miles is 58% lower than that of human-driven taxis. Even more impressively, accidents causing injuries are 85% less frequent. Of course, Waymo is currently limited to specific urban roads and highways, and it doesn't operate in bad weather, but this performance speaks volumes. Cargo vehicles are more complex. They may need refueling, maintenance, and so on, so they might still require human oversight. But that's more of an infrastructure issue, and we'll likely see service stations dedicated to self-driving freight trucks soon. With autonomous delivery and takeaway services, even if technological progress stopped today, we could already automate many processes in society thanks to self-driving tech. I predict that society 20 years from now will be far wealthier than it is today. A vast array of physical goods will become as affordable as software is now. Everyone will be able to afford them. The shift will move from the virtual to the physical, happening gradually over time. AI-assisted programming has already unleashed a surge in software productivity. We now have many independent developers who don't need big companies to create apps. AI programming tools like Cursor cost just $20 per month, and you can use it to develop a decent app in a couple of days. Programmers won't lose their jobs, but software will become omnipresent and highly customizable. If you have any specific need, someone will be able to write an app for you in no time. Maybe every high school subject will even have its own dedicated app, one that can be discarded at the end of each semester. When programming becomes easier, scientific research will accelerate dramatically. Not to mention AI tools like O1 for mathematical derivations, or AlphaFold for biological computations. However, research is slightly further removed from AI's core compared to programming, so its impact on science has only just begun. The true explosion of AI's influence in research is still on the horizon, but it's coming soon. We can expect the 2020s to bring breakthroughs as significant as those of the 1920s. The same goes for industries like gaming, film, and television. They are still on the verge of massive change, but the transformation is imminent. Imagine a world where one person can make an entire movie on their own. What kind of world would that be? The changes we're seeing today are largely happening in the virtual realm. And even though these changes are incredible, many people haven't yet felt the tangible benefits of AI. This isn't because material wealth is limited. As I've said before, everything we sell is software, because atoms don't get consumed. They keep circulating. What we're really buying is the arrangement of those atoms. Material wealth is also unlimited. The reason not everyone can afford a car today is that car manufacturing isn't fully automated yet, and physical goods require more energy to produce. Both of these issues can be solved with intelligence and technology. While nuclear fusion may still be uncertain, we know solar energy is virtually limitless, and photovoltaic power has an expansion law similar to that of chips. So, there are no real obstacles in this area. The next step will depend on the progress of robotics. Given the current investments from major companies, we can expect that, within a year or two, robots will experience their own GPT-3 moment. People will suddenly realize how easily the problem is solved. Then comes the ChatGPT moment, where robots will be seen as both highly effective and affordable. From there, intelligence will permeate all areas of production and service, enabling everyone to live a dignified life. By the way, many people argue, if all Chinese people lived like Americans, the world's resources wouldn't be enough. This is nonsense. Japan has far less land per person and fewer resources than China, but Japanese people live very well. The reality is that, except for land, material resources are essentially infinite. However, technology and resources can't solve all problems. We still need mechanisms that can create and circulate wealth. The global food supply is already sufficient to feed everyone, yet some people still go hungry. On one hand, there's overproduction. On the other, people can't afford to buy. This isn't a technology problem, nor a resource issue. It's a human problem. Question 3. Can we understand centralized structures, like a tree-like hierarchy, as robust but fragile, while decentralized structures, like a network, as anti-fragile? Additionally, when faced with severe economic crises, are there examples of similarly developed, but structurally different countries, showing contrasting outcomes? Response. This cannot be generalized. Tree-like structures rely heavily on a central hub. In theory, if this hub fails, the entire system collapses. For example, in the Soviet Union, when the central authority gave an order to dissolve the party organization, the entire system disintegrated. Local governments followed orders without self-organizing capabilities, and soon after, the Soviet Union fell apart. In contrast, the United States undergoes a change of leadership every 4 years, yet the country continues to function seamlessly. Even when the federal government shuts down due to budget disagreements, daily life remains almost unaffected. In reality, no single political party could unilaterally dissolve the United States. However, in the context of economic crises, particularly financial crises, it is not as simple as labeling tree-like structures as fragile, and network-like structures as anti-fragile. Economic crises are often chain reactions triggered by a loss of confidence. Capitalists stop investing, banks stop lending, and people stop consuming. In the US, the government can only apply macroeconomic tools like monetary or fiscal policy to stimulate the economy. It has limited means to intervene directly, as the president cannot order capitalists to invest. In a tree-like structure, governments often have the power to intervene directly, at a microeconomic level. For example, if banks in Singapore lose confidence and stop lending, Lee Kuan Yew could personally call the bank executives to ensure loans are issued. This enforced optimism can lead to real action. Combined with investments from state-owned enterprises, confidence may genuinely recover, and the crisis can be overcome. Historical evidence suggests that Singapore has been more effective than the US in handling financial crises. But here's the question. Is this necessarily a good thing? What if an economic crisis is not just a disaster, but a natural process essential for healthy economic functioning? Some low-efficiency businesses may need to fail. If governments prop up these failing enterprises, is that really beneficial? On one hand, the forced investments made to counter a crisis may lead to overcapacity in the future. On the other hand, unprofitable, low-tech companies might dominate the market, making innovation less attractive. If governments consistently act as saviors, what purpose does the market's survival of the fittest mechanism serve? Temporary bailouts might merely postpone the crisis, potentially creating even bigger problems down the line. Or maybe not. Perhaps new technologies or trade opportunities, like China's entry into the WTO, could emerge and render today's challenges irrelevant. As some in the US have suggested, if we believe AI will create vast wealth in the coming decades, borrowing more money today might not even be a problem.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.